Mr. LeBlanc?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Let me make the prosecutor's co-host.
Phone is unmuted. Done speaking.
All right, we do have a couple of pleas to take up. And so I'm going to take those up. It's for the parties on Peter Carrion.
I am, Your Honor.
Have
And
Javier
Nick-
Velasco and Tommy
Great.
Bracamontes. Are all parties ready on all of those cases?
I'm ready
Yes.
to talk to Bracamontes.
Oh,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
so sorry. I'm on mute, so I can't hear what anyone's saying.
Everybody's ready on Pete Carrion, Judge.
All right.
We're ready on Bracamontes also.
And we're already on Velasco.
Who is the, let's see. Mick, who is your client?
Pete Carrion.
All right, who's the prosecutor on that one?
I am, Judge.
So I'm not back. Oh, I'm just stuck.
All right, the court is going to call 2020 CR 10441, State of Texas versus Peter Carrion. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
for the defense?
Mick Aguilera on behalf of the Honorable Mr. Carrion.
All right, and are you Peter Carrion?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video. Any objection?
Right, exactly.
No,
Judge.
none for the defense, Your Honor.
Mr. Carrion, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Defense, I'm showing you what's entitled acknowledgement of discovery. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Carrion, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, the state is waiving count 1 as well as the enhancement paragraph and proceeding on count 2.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
No.
Mr. Carrion, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on count 2, which appears to be an unauthorized use of a vehicle? Range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge, that would be my opinion.
Mr. Carrion, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial off the record. Mr. Davis, if you can go to breakout room number 1, please, so you can be sworn in. And if the clerks could go to number 1. Mr. Carrion, I'm going to show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on count 2. They're waiving count 1 and the enhancement paragraph. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 1 year in the state jail facility. There's a $1,500 fine, and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement, Mr. Carrion?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor, there has not.
Into the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle in count 2, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
And Judge, we have no objection at this time.
Mr. Carrion, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulation. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand, again, you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty on authorized use of a vehicle. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
If you would consider it, yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, just that, well, just that you would ask, we ask that you would consider following a plea bargain.
All right, then the court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility, a $1,500 fine, time and money and concurrent, and give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Carrion, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And also, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
I do understand, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Carrion, with that, we'll close the record. Mr. Carrion, you're at a crossroads in your life. You can either continue doing what you're doing, in which case you're going to end up in and out of prison, or either you can change your ways. You understand?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Carrion. Norma, you can let them know 14B can go back.
Thank you, Judge. And hey, Pete, I expect to hear from you when you're out.
Yes, sir. Yes, I am going to be calling you. Thank
I
you,
want to
sir.
hear that idea. Thank you, Judge.
I have, yes, I want to tell you. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, who are the parties on Javier Velasco?
Ray Adams for the defense.
Like if I only had like one case and I
Marcus Sanders.
got it dropped down.
uh,
All right, I don't know if Marcus is available.
He's on.
Yeah, but two of the cases were bulls, where they ran over me and charged me with
21,
criminal mischief.
one
And then when
court,
they caught me
state of Texas
evading,
versus Javier
not
Velasco.
evading, when you just don't run to
Mr.
them. And I
Velasco, are
didn't
you able
run
to
to them,
mute
I just kept on walking the same way I was walking.
You're cutting out. Excuse me, Your Honor.
Are you able to mute and unmute yourself?
Yes.
All right, if you could do that for me, please, because we're getting a lot of feedback from your end.
Okay.
All right, could I have parties announced for the record for the state? State? Yeah.
Hunter Morris.
All right, thank you. For the defense,
Ray Adams for the defense.
Mr. Okay, whoever has the child, number one. Who has the child?
It's Tommy.
All right. All right, thank you. All right, are you Mr. Velasco?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video. Any objection from the state?
None, Judge.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Velasco, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Mr. Velasco, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, it appears you're proceeding on the indictment as presented. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Velasco, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court's Admonishment and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and the court could sentence you to 10 years in the prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Velasquez, has anyone threatened, I'm sorry, Mr. Velasco, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargaining agreement, there's a $1,500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication, and there's $57 restitution to SAPD for drug testing. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is that the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal. The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. Outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours community service restitution, and regular UAs. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State offer states one attachments, Judge.
No objections.
Mr. Velasco, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Have the court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, I think my client has learned his lesson and that he's anxious to show the court that he's going to be able to be successful.
All right, Mr. Velasco, who is Albert Salazar?
Albert Salazar?
Yeah.
I don't follow. I don't know who that is.
Were you in the car by yourself?
Oh, Albert Salazar. Okay. The car. Okay. He was somebody I was giving a ride to. He was giving me gas money. Yeah. It was him and another white guy named Drew that I was giving a ride to. They were giving me gas money.
So you don't know them other than you just picked up two strangers to give a ride to?
No, I know him through one of my cousins.
Okay, how often do you use drugs?
It's been meth wasn't my choice of drugs. I used to do heroin, but I had got clean with Suboxones and I had to stay clean for a while. I had came to San Antonio for my birthday on November 2nd, and I was just visiting. Yeah, I came and my cousins, I guess, they hang with the wrong crowd. I was giving those guys a ride, and just things didn't go how I intended them to go.
Where are you coming from?
From Dallas.
Come from Dallas to come to San Antonio November 2nd for your birthday?
Yeah, I came on my birthday. That happened on November 5th. I stayed a couple days extra.
Okay.
But I came over here. I didn't intend for things to go the way they did.
Well, usually when you use drugs, things start to go south pretty fast.
Yeah, you're right about that, Your Honor. I wouldn't disagree.
So are you going to be living here in Bexar County?
I was thinking about getting it transferred to Dallas. That wouldn't be the issue, right?
No, what's that underneath your eye? Yes. Is that a tattoo?
Yes, ma'am.
So what else is going on in your life?
Well, I got a job back in Dallas when I get out.
Well, let's stick with the tattoo. What else is going on in your life?
What do you mean? The tattoo? It's stands for train to go. It's just something that I used to do boxing. I train people.
It stands for what?
Train to go.
Train or go or
Train to go. Train to go. Train to go.
Train space T-O space G-O?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't understand that expression.
I used to box when I was younger, and I train with people out there and where I'm from in Dallas.
All right. So any gang affiliations?
No, Your Honor.
So if they run a gang check on you, which they are going to do, they're not going to find anything?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any children?
Yes, I have a 10-year-old son, Your Honor.
And where's your son?
And he's in Rowlett, Texas. Well, that's a little county outside of Dallas, but he stays with his mother right now.
All right. And does she use drugs at all?
No, she doesn't.
When's the last time you used drugs before you were taken into custody?
Last time I used drugs before I got arrested on this offense?
Yes.
I was smoking weed. Meth is really not my choice of drugs. When we got pulled
you
up.
keep saying that, but let me just explain something to you. People will say meth is not their choice of drugs, but they still use it. Vanilla ice cream, that's not my choice of ice cream. But if I only have a choice out of vanilla, I'm like, hey, I'll put some magic shell on it and it's still ice cream. So you're using meth. And what else are you using besides meth? You use marijuana. What else have you used?
Opiates.
What else?
And that's it.
Okay. When's the last time you had a job where you worked and you got a paycheck?
I was working at a construction company in 2019, right before the pandemic.
Okay, and has CPS been involved in your life as a father?
No, Your Honor.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. 2 years deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with Albert Salazar or Drew Scott. $57 restitution to San Antonio Police Department for drug testing, parenting classes, 120 hours of community service restitution. How far did you go in school?
I went some college. I got my GED in some college.
All right, 120 hours community service restitution, that'll be waived if he completes some higher level of education or trade school. The UA hotline, intensive outpatient treatment with probation, and you want to be transferred to Dallas, is that what you're saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, transfer to Dallas. I guess that's Dallas County.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I'm going to want field visits 2 times per month, random. Reporting by Zoom 2 times per month until further notice, or he can report in person. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs? Oh, I'm sorry, proof of employment within 30 days of release. And there should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Rebecca, does he need anything else?
Did you say the fine, Judge?
There'll be a $1,500 fine, and that'll be probated. All right, Mr. Velasco, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Velasco, good luck with you. You got to make better decisions, better choices. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Adams, I'm going to send your client to a breakout room. If you could remain in the breakout room with him until probation gets there.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'll send you all to breakout room number 1.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Judge.
You're welcome. All right. Who are the parties on Tommy Bracamontes?
I'm here, Your Honor. James Hunt for defense.
You're ready for the state, Judge.
Mr. Velasco, you need to go to breakout room number 1. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 6002. Sorry. There you go.
Yes, yes,
State
ma'am.
of Texas versus Tommy Bracamontes. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Joey Garcia.
for the defense?
James Hunt.
And are you Mr. Bracamontes? Are you Mr. Bracamontes?
Oh,
I think there's something wrong with your
we're all
client.
breaking up.
You want to log out and log back in, or either you need to find a location and remain stationary.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hunt? Your client is,
Yes, he hasn't experienced this with my communications with him in the last many hours.
all right, we'll just give me a moment. We're going to take up another matter and then we'll take up him again.
Thank you.
Sure. Who are the parties on Keandra Davis?
Raimundo Aleman for Mr. Davis.
All right, the court is going to call 2020 CR 7207, State of Texas versus Keandra Davis. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Joe Ray Garcia.
for the defense?
Raimundo Aleman for Mr. Davis, Your Honor.
And are you Keandra Davis?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Davis, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Davis, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am. Can I say one thing?
Yes. Yes.
Me and Cassandra Brooker, we are raising a 5-month-old baby.
We
right now.
are not at that point. So I just want you to listen to my questions.
Yes, ma'am.
And when we get to that point, we will get to that point.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
have you reviewed the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Davis, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court's Admonishment and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of assault, family choking, strangulation? That's a 3rd-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor, at all times.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, he does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Davis, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm going to show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am. That's the page that I had that I was saying something about.
All right. What are you all not agreeing to the no contact order? That's what's being said here, Mr. Alaman? Because that's what's in the plea bargain agreement.
He wants a no harmful contact.
Well, you all put it as a part of your agreement. So is it not a part of the agreement? Or is this something you are going to argue about?
Mr. Davis would like to contest that part, Your Honor. The prosecutor wanted it in.
Are you going to allow them to present argument to that or no?
We can go open on that condition, Judge. The state's position. Contact.
Okay. All right, I'm showing you what's entitled plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine probated.
Wait.
State recommends.
I thought it was 4 years probation.
Will you please let me continue to read and then maybe you will hear, okay?
That's fine.
4 years prison, a $1,500 fine probated, State recommends probation. Take in consideration 2021 CR 4782. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. And the state is requesting that there be no contact with Pantandra Booker, Patandra, and that will be open. So what that means is that the defense can argue and request no harmful or injurious contact with Patandra Booker. Did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement, Mr. Davis?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that the term of your probation be 4 years, every 120 hours community service restitution, and the BIPP course. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all its attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Davis, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? Did you electronically sign them in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Your Honor, we are prepared to go with sentencing, except for the comment he had.
All right, anybody else? So what's the argument with him not having contact with Pantandra Booker? What's the argument? I'll hear why he should be allowed to have contact with her.
Why he shouldn't, Judge?
Oh, why he should. Defense, why should he have contact with her?
Your Honor, the baby's mother apparently requested that Mr. Davis not be sentenced to prison, but be placed on probation because he apparently
No,
needs
I'm
his
gonna
help.
follow Mr. Alamon, I'm gonna follow the probation, but I want to talk about why should I allow him to have contact with her?
He apparently needs his help in raising the child. He and she do not even live in the same state, and he actually lives in Mississippi and she lives somewhere else. So they will not be in close contact, but they should have some contact.
What I have is on March 27th, he beats her up. On April 10th, he beats her up. And now we have this case that we're here for now, and he chokes her. And this choking, all of the children are aware of this. All of the children can hear this. And this choking occurred because he gave her a teddy bear for Mother's Day. The juvenile child likes teddy bears, so the juvenile took it. He got angry that the juvenile took it instead of her. And then he closes the bedroom door, and he's in the room with the mother on Mother's Day, and he chokes her. That's what this police reports read. So I'm not going to allow him to have contact with her. Whether she wants it or not, he's not having contact with her.
Hey, Your Honor, I don't mean to interrupt, but I was logged out. Velasco, can you?
We're in the middle of a hearing, Mr. Velasco. All right, so he is not going to be allowed to have contact with her.
Okay.
Mr. Davis, do you have employment?
No, ma'am.
So how are you going to support your child when you're not employed?
The only reason that I couldn't get employed is because this was on my back. Every job that I applied for kept saying that I had some pending felony charge in San Antonio that I need to take care of before hiring.
All right, where are you living right now?
I live in Mississippi. I'm in St. Louis right now.
So where's your probation going to be?
In Mississippi.
What county?
Greenville. Well, Greenville is the city. I think Washington is the county. Washington County.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Sentence you to 4 years in prison, suspended and probated for 4 years, $1,500 fine, probated. Take in consideration 2021 CR 4782. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Patandra, Patandra Booker, the BIPP course, 120 hours community service restitution. And your employment cannot be as a home health care provider or any employment involving minors, parenting classes, regular Zoom reporting, regular UAs, field visit, random, one time per month. Rebecca, is there anything else you need?
The transfer to Washington.
All right, and transfer to Washington County in Mississippi. Mr. Davis, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
You keep confusing me when you saying 4 years in prison to 4 years in probation.
If you are not successful on your probation, I can sentence you to 4 years in prison. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
If I do decide to move, who do I talk to?
I've already said that your probation is being transferred to Washington County. Are you saying you're not going to be living there?
I don't plan on being here for the next 4 years, no. Being there for the next 4 years, no.
Where are you going to be? Where do you want your probation transferred?
Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, Mississippi right now, but because I'm trying to get in the process of moving. I'm trying to get out of Greenville. So my next from Greenville, Mississippi would be Atlanta, Georgia. But I'm not going to be in Greenville. I'm not going to be in Greenville, Mississippi until like another 3 weeks from now because I'm down here in St. Louis with my son.
Well, let me just tell you, wherever your probation is transferred to, that's where you're going to be. And if you want to have your probation transferred somewhere else, then you need to let probation know and get approval. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, we can close the record. Mr. Davis, if you love somebody, you shouldn't be putting your hands on them in anger. Do you understand?
The record that you just read.
Nope, that's not my question. My question is, do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm sending you to breakout room number 1. And Rebecca, you can go to breakout room number 1.
Okay, thank you.
And they will go over conditions with you. And Mr. Alamon, you can go to number 1 if you so choose.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Judge, may I approach?
Yes, just give me a moment. All right, Linda Corley, who's your first client?
Mary Margaret Trevino.
All right, what is happening with Miss Trevino?
I need to speak with David Martin. I will be sending him an email and hoping I can speak with him before the next court date, but if not on the next court date at least.
Just one moment. Does anyone see what page that is on?
She's on the add-on, Judge.
Okay. All right, when is David going to be back?
I believe he's going to be back next week. I think he's
yes.
on vacation.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Joe Ray?
Next week, by Monday, I believe.
All right, Norma, you want to recall this for next week?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, may my client be excused on that date?
Okay, well, this is, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this case though, because it was supposed to be dismissed. So is it not being dismissed?
It's up in the air at this time, Judge.
All right.
There's an offer for it, Judge, but I'm not on this case, but we'll take care of this one.
All right, Norma, what date?
You said Monday, Judge?
No, someday next week.
Oh,
what
someday.
is easiest for you and your client, Ms. Corley?
If we could have Friday, that would be the easiest date for me, Judge. I don't know if that's available.
Let me see. Give me 1 second.
And I'm sorry, Judge, I missed. Did you say that my client does need to appear also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Friday would be fine.
All right, we'll see you. I guess that's Friday the 13th.
Lucky day.
It is a lucky day. You know, people don't realize that the bad day is actually Saturday the 14th.
I also have 2 more clients, Judge.
Yes.
Eugenia Cawthorn, C-O-T-H-A-R-N.
Yes, what is happening with that?
You have an offer that I'll be discussing with her. If I could have one more reset.
All right, Norma, on that case, can you give me a 30-day reset, please?
Yes, ma'am. I can bring her back on the 31st, Judge.
Okay, we'll see her on August 31st.
All right, and then last but not least, Mr. John Klosner. Okay,
just
sorry.
1 second. I have to find it on my docket sheet.
16.
Thank you. All right, and who's the other one?
John Klosna, Closna.
You say Helen?
No, John. John
okay.
Klosna.
Yes.
I have a plea offer, if I could just get another reset on him.
All right, Norma, can you recall this for 1 month, please?
1 month?
Would you do that 31st again? August 31st?
Sure, I can do that.
Okay, terrific.
All right, see you then. Thanks for your patience.
Thank you, Judge. May my clients and I all be excused?
Yes.
Okay, all right, everybody. Just hit leave meeting.
Thank you, ma'am.
Luis Martinez, can I approach?
Just give me 1 second before you
Yes,
go.
ma'am.
Miguel Nahara.
Yes, Judge, I have Mr. Kevin Miller. We had a bond hearing set for today, Judge. I just have one witness.
Okay, just give me 1 second, Mr. Nahara. Thank you for your patience.
No problem,
Luis
Judge.
Martinez.
Yes, Judge. I've got Charles Haley on the docket, Judge. I've conferred. I checked in this morning, but had to go to another court.
Yes, okay, where's Mr. Haley?
I don't see him here. I had asked you before the break if you had checked in, and you indicated to me he had.
He's in the courtroom.
Yes, he's in the courtroom.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm gonna,
Have you received an offer?
I've received an offer and I need to review that with him.
All right, courtroom, could you go to breakout room number 2? And Luis Martinez, I'll send you to number 2.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, and who are the prosecutors on Miller? Kevin?
Judge, let me see if I can remember who I conferred with last time. Give me 1 second here. I'll look. I think it was Mr. Morris. Mr. Morris, I believe, was the person I had conferred with last time.
Did we?
Yeah, I think we talked about the bond motions. He said he couldn't agree to them and that we would just proceed to the hearing.
Okay.
All right, and then Robert Featherston, you've been patiently waiting. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3 with Ms. Ferguson, and she'll give you your update on your client. Okay.
And Judge, if I could just have 1 second, I believe I already have exhibits ready for this.
Okay, sure. All right, while you do that, everyone, just give me 1 moment.
Mr. Nahara, can you send me your email address in the chat?
Of course.
Just direct message if you don't want everyone to get it.
And everyone, just let me know when you're ready.
Judge, I believe I'm ready again on Tommy Becca Montes.
All right, just give me a moment. Let me take up this hearing first, and then I'll take up your matter.
Thank you.
Okay, sending now. It might just take a minute since there are a few attachments.
All right, are you all ready?
I'm ready, Judge.
Yes, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 4765A and 2021 CR 4766, State of Texas versus Kevin Travis Miller. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Hunter Morris.
For the defense?
Miguel Nájera, Judge.
And are you Mr. Miller?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're proceeding by video. Any objection from the state?
None, Judge.
Any objection from the defense?
None at all, Judge.
Mr. Miller, do you have any objections with this proceeding by video?
No, ma'am.
All right, in each of the cause numbers, the defense is requesting a bond reduction or either a PR bond in each of the cause numbers. State, have you had a chance to review defense's motion?
I believe so, Judge. Yes.
All right, and State, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge.
All right, defense, it's your motion.
Judge, I would call Miss Bettina Miller to the stand. She should be in the waiting room.
All right, Miss, she's actually on the screen. Miss Miller, could you please start your video for me? All right, and if you could unmute for me, Miss Miller. All right, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your
I
hand.
do.
If you could state your name for the record, please, and spell it.
Bettina Miller, BettinaMiller.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Miss Miller. What is your relation to Kevin Miller?
I'm his mother.
And do you have any other family members that can assist Kevin with you? Not to testify,
yeah.
but does he have any brothers or sisters that can assist as well, is what I'm asking.
Yeah, he's got a brother, Dwight Miller, and
Okay.
a sister, Samantha Miller.
Now, what does Dwight do for a living?
He does electrical work.
Is he currently employed?
Since COVID, it's been kind of on and off.
So is he financially strapped at this point?
Yes.
And what about his sister?
She's currently employed at Cheesecake Factory.
Okay. Have you been able to contact her to find out if she can assist in making Mr. Miller's bond?
Yes, I have, and she said she can't because she's got to pay her rent, her utilities, and all that. So.
And what about yourself, ma'am? What is your financial situation currently?
I'm barely living on Social Security disability. I get $580 a month.
Okay. Now, were you able to call a bondsman to find out how much they would need to bond out your son at this time?
Yeah, and I can't remember the amount that they gave me, but it was like way too much. There's no way I could come up with that kind of money.
Okay. And if your son was able to make bond, would you be able to assist him with a place to live?
Yes.
And as far as right now, are you renting or do you own the house you live in?
Own. Still paying on.
Still paying on it? Okay. And what about vehicle? Do you have a vehicle?
No, I do not.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I'll pass a witness, Judge.
All right, State.
Thank you, Judge. Hi, Ms. Miller.
Hello.
Does Mr. Miller have a job, or did he before he was incarcerated?
No. Not to my knowledge.
When's the last time he had a job?
When his father was alive, he worked with his dad doing electrical work.
Do you have a year?
And well, his father passed away last year in 2019.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. But Kevin's been incarcerated, so he wasn't here when his father passed.
I see. So does I guess when defense asks you if you would have a place to live for him when he gets out, do you understand if he gets out, there's a likelihood that he might be on house arrest?
Yes,
And you're saying that you have a place that he could be on full house arrest.
yes,
Would you be there?
yes. I don't go anywhere.
And I respect you as a mother and understand you have a difficult time. And some mothers have a more difficult time than others. But does Mr. Miller, does he tend to listen to you?
Yes, he does.
And do you understand what he's charged with?
Yes, I do.
And these charges carry a significant penalty. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
And are you familiar with his history?
Yes, I am.
That he's been to jail or prison probably a dozen times?
Very many times, starting at a young age. In and out.
And knowing his history, are you telling this court that you're confident that he'll show up? Honestly?
To the house, to here, or I didn't
court?
understand the question. To court? Yes.
You honestly think that he is a safe person?
That he's a what?
A safe person?
Yes.
And you said that you don't recall the amount the bondsman gave you, is that right?
Yeah, I don't recall. I know it was a lot.
For your income alone?
Yeah, my income alone is not a lot. Like I said, I only get $580 a month on disability.
I'll pass the witness.
Nothing
Right.
further from this witness, Judge.
All right, thank you. Any other witnesses?
No, Judge, I would just ask you to take judicial notice of the fact that he is indigent insofar that I've been appointed counsel to represent him.
All right, state.
No witnesses from the state judge.
Right,
But
any,
Yes, the state has provided 2 court and counsel for exhibits that the state would like both to consider.
all right, any objections to states exhibits 1, 2, 3, and 4? Or do you need time to review those?
No, I'm glancing them as we speak, Judge.
Oh, I'll give you a chance to look at those.
Well, I would just make a hearsay objection on States Exhibit 1. Same on States Exhibit 2, just hearsay. States Exhibit 3 is a picture of a tattoo, Judge. I'd object to it on relevance, Your Honor.
All right, the objections to the exhibits will be overruled. States exhibits 1, 2, 3, and 4 are admitted into evidence.
No further exhibits from the state judge or witnesses, just argument.
All right, defense, it's your motion.
Yes, Judge. Obviously, my client has been incarcerated for a good period of time now. I think the court could also take judicial notice of the amount of time he has been spending since his arrest. And you've heard testimony as to the pretty much dire straits his mother lives in, paycheck to paycheck. He doesn't have many family members with funds to assist him in making a bond. I understand these are serious charges with more serious punishment ranges based on his criminal history. But that being said, they are nonviolent. One is a drug charge. The other one is a gun charge, but there was no allegation of the gun being used. It was a straight possession. And as the court will see in States Exhibit 1, I believe it was, there was a co-defendant as well that was attempting to take responsibility for that firearm. As such, we would ask this honorable court to reduce his bond.
Right, state.
Judge, the court has before it the criminal history, which includes charges of moral turpitude, charges of a charge of terroristic threat for which he received jail time, And if the court would note, it appears that he would be habitual TDC offender, although the indictment is not charged that way. The magistrate, attorney, and judge took notice that this defendant is a known narcotics trafficker. He is on bond for what appears to be over 200 grams of methamphetamine with a weapon. This is an individual who has no regard for the law, had a weapon on him, has violence in his history, has been to jail or prison over a dozen times, is a habitual offender. So the state would argue that he is a threat to the community. He has at least 2 evading convictions in his past. So there is some concern that he will make an appearance on these offenses. So the state does object to defense's motion, would ask this court to keep the bond as set.
All right, defense, you'll have final arguments. It's your motion.
Judge, I think the state has said on a couple occasions that he's gone into custody over a dozen times, and I think if he means jail and or TDC, I would just point out that I'm pretty certain some of those were concurrent, so it wasn't 12 separate trips. Once again, Judge, bonds aren't meant to be oppressive. They're there to ensure the accused appear in court. I believe the bonds as such, evidenced by the fact that my client has not been able to make bond, is beyond his means and would require some reduction.
Okay. Just give me one moment. Who is the complainant in the terroristic threat case?
I'll look now, Judge.
Yeah, and I'm not sure I'm representing him on that one, Judge. So I don't have that information. I apologize.
It's an old case.
It's an old one. It's from 2009. I'm just trying to discover if it's his mother.
Robert Miller.
Okay. So his father, I'm assuming.
I don't have a note here, Judge, saying what the relation is, but I could pull up that report or try to. It is a 2009 case. I don't seem to have that readily available, Judge.
Okay.
It was his father.
All right, thank you. In both cause numbers, the court will deny the application for a PR bond. And cause number 2021 CR 4766. The court will set his bond at $48,000 with full GPS. Will waive GPS fees. And in cause number 2021 CR 4765, the court will set the bond at $48,000. Full GPS, waive fees, and of course, there will only be one GPS, Mr. Nahara.
Thank you, Judge. And just to make sure I understand, it's 48000.
Yes.
Okay, just double checking.
All right, if there is nothing else. Oh, and Mr. Nahara, for some reason, I don't know why it's not printing out, but I don't have an order attached on any of the motions.
I'll get that order in today, Judge.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Judge. Thank you for your time.
Sure. Do you need to speak with your client at all?
Sure. If you give me a chance, I'll meet with him, Judge.
Sure. And I think our next setting on this, Mr. Miller and Mr. Nahara, is August 26th.
I believe that. I think I have that on my calendar already, Judge.
All right. Mr. Miller, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. And Mr. Nahara, when you finish speaking to him, if you'll just have him come back to the main room so we can dismiss him from the main room.
I will do, Judge.
Thank you. Marco Bass, who do you have?
Judge, I have Veles. He's in custody.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
This one's criminal trial.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you.
Jonathan Watkins.
Good afternoon, Judge. I'm back from a breakout room. I conferred with Mr. Morris. The state and the defense had a pretty good conference, and I believe the state just needs to contact a couple of witnesses, but or it makes a decision one way or another. So I'd like
Who's your client?
I'm sorry, Judge. It's Mr. Richard Garza. He's been on the whole day, the whole time, Judge. CTD.
And Judge, to be more specific, I believe this court has given defense and state some time to get these witnesses together.
Yes.
Defense did provide me with some witness statements. There was another witness who appears to be an off-duty law enforcement officer who was hesitant to provide a recorded statement. So I have reached out today to that officer to try and get some information and have a conversation with the complainant about the information that I've learned. And so I anticipate that a decision will be made on this case within the next 2 weeks.
All right, Norma, can I get a reset date on Richard Garza?
Richard Garza?
Richard Garza.
Yes, ma'am. I can give him the 31st as well, Judge.
All right, we'll be back on August 31st.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Hunter.
Thank you. You're welcome. Luis Martinez.
Yes, Judge. So I've conferred with Mr. Haley. He's going to accept the state's offer. It's going to require that he do some, enter into the Bear Gives Back program. So he's going to need a little bit of time to make arrangements with work. So we're asking to come back for a plea.
Well, if he wants to do the plea now, we can always come back for sentencing.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Let me see if we can set that up right now.
All right, thank you. And then Leslie Herbst, what is happening with your client?
Your Honor, I don't think we're too far off from an agreement. I'd like to confer with Hunter some more.
All right, Mr. Herbst, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 5. And Hunter will meet you there.
Judge, this is Luis Martinez. Is Meredith still available?
Let me see. Meredith is actually in breakout room number 3 with Marco.
Okay, so she's the one I conferred with.
All right, as soon as she finishes, she will take care of that.
Okay.
All right, Kirk Sherman.
I'm here.
Yes, who do you have?
I'm sorry, Judge.
There, okay.
Matthew LeBlanc. Clifford LeBlanc, I must apologize. Judge, I was stuck in another court this morning.
All right, let me see if that's criminal trial division or family violence. All right, that's criminal trial division. I will send you to breakout room number 4.
Okay. Did he appear? Oh, well.
No, he's not here. All right. Tommy Bracamontes. Hunt, I think your client has found a stable location.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay. Just a second. As soon as the court report is ready, we will take that matter up.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Ah, Brenda, I didn't even say your name and you appeared. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 6002, State of Texas versus Tommy Bracamontes. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Joe Ray Garcia.
for the defense?
For defense, ready.
And are you Mr. Bracamontes?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Bracamontes, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision or Deferred Adjudication. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Bracamontes, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Bracamontes, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court's Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand what you're charged with is violation of sex offender registration annually? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent, was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Bracamontes, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm going to show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,500 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication and Chapter 62 compliance. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge, it is.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, off the record for a moment. Mr. Nahara, did you need us for anything else?
No, Judge, just wanted to be excused.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Norma, can you let them know that Mr. Miller can go back? He's L11.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, and can I be put in with my client, Velez?
Yes.
Thank you.
Let me see. Bellis, if you go to breakout room number 2, please. And Mr. Bass, if you'll go to 2. All right, we're back on the record. Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years, and there'll be 60 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense is charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all its attachments.
We have no objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Bracamontes, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence of guilt. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Would like to today, Your Honor.
All right, anything you would say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, my client was homeless at the time. We understand that he needs to keep up with Chapter 62 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, and we ask the court to follow the plea bargain.
Who is he living with now?
Tommy?
I'm still homeless, ma'am. I'm still homeless.
Where are you right now?
I'm just around.
No, where are you right now?
I'm in a washateria.
So how are you going to report?
Well, I was going to report, but it was shut down due to COVID. And I was reporting, and I saw the caution tape. I saw the letters they had on the table for yearly and high risk. And I followed, as I was told on that paper. I called, I left messages. I would go on bus. I would walk sometimes. It just depends, ma'am. It just depends. Most time I walk. If I don't have money for the bus, I walk. But
All right.
I made an effort to go see if it was open, and the times that I went, it wasn't open.
All right, I'm going to sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication, $1,500 fine, that will be probated. Chapter 62 compliance. And you can report to probation by Zoom. So that'll be regular Zoom reporting or in person. Where have you been looking to get employment?
Well, after this, I'll be able to be stable. I won't have to worry about am I going to get locked up or am I going to lose my job? So now I got people that are ready to hire me, construction, restaurant. So now I can go put applications, and I don't really have to worry about this weight on my shoulder. So.
All right, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And we'll do regular UAs. Rebecca, is there anything else he needs?
No, were you gonna do community service hours?
They say they don't have any community service hours available for.
Okay, I was
people
just
who
double
register.
checking.
Yeah, all right, no problem. All right, Mr. Bracamontes, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, we'll close the record. And Mr. Bracamontes, you need to always make sure you report to probation, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna
Oh.
send you to a breakout room so probation can go over conditions with you. I'll send you to breakout room number 1. Mr. Hunt, you
Okay.
can go to breakout room number 1, or either you can be excused.
Your Honor, may I go to a breakout room with Mr. Albert, my client?
Yes, Mr. Herbst, if you'll go to breakout room number 3, and Albert, if you'll go to number 3.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes. Anyone else?
Judge, I worked on some paperwork earlier for Jeff Mulliner. Did that case plea already?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right, and then I'm being told, Joe Ray, that Mr. Jose Chavez on the first page, that he is deceased.
I filed a dismissal, Judge, this morning.
Okay, I think I may have signed it. I think so, I'm not sure.
Let me look.
Judge, when you have a moment, we have an announcement on LeBlanc.
Yes.
Apparently his client was in the courtroom earlier before lunch, but he didn't return after lunch. I gave Kirk his bail bondsman's contact info. And so I guess I would be okay with like recalling it for later in this week to give Kirk some time to try to get a hold of him again.
All right. How much time you want to, well, we can recall it for next week, Mr. Sherman. All right, Norma, on LeBlanc, can you recall that for next week, please?
Yes, ma'am, I can do Monday.
All right, so we'll be back on August 9th.
You're muted, Kirk. We can't hear you.
All right, we'll see you August 9th.
And Judge, that dismissal's been completed.
All right, thank you. Okay. Marco Bass, you're back. You're on mute.
Terrible. All right, Judge, we reached a deal.
Okay. All right, if you'll just put that in the chat box to Norma, please.
Alrighty.
And everyone, just give me 5 minutes. Whenever you all are ready, just let me know. And Brenna, has the person who was sleeping on Zoom in his bed, has he made it to court?
No, Judge.
All right. Norma, we need Miss Peterzak to come to the courtroom, please.
Yes, ma'am.
And also, Norma, if we can get Mr. Alfonso Cabanos here for his client, Mr. McBride.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Judge, just to clarify on Haley, he's there in the courtroom, right? So once Lewis
Yes.
signs the paperwork, I'll just send it to the clerk to print out?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think you can actually use the email in the courtroom. Is that correct, Brenna or Norma?
It's fine. Yes, Deputy Norman.
Yeah, and you can send it to Deputy Laura. It'll go to her email and he can actually sign it, electronically sign it.
Oh, to send it to Deputy Laura?
Yes.
Okay, I'll look for that email. If not, I'll chat someone.
Okay.
She publicly put it on YouTube. Oh. What's your email? I'll send it to her. I'll just send it to her.
Joe Ray,
Yes, Judge.
on Mario Trevino, Linda Corley says that it was agreed that she would be on tracking only. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It was agreement for GPS when Lauren Scott was here. It was either tracking or to take off GPS. Let me check.
Okay.
Oh, does her order say tracking? I know she just sent one.
Well, the first one was for tracking only, but now I think she said to remove GPS.
That's
Because
fine, Judge.
it was tracking only, but now it's to remove.
Okay, then yes, that's right.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Herbst, you're back?
Yes, we've worked out an agreement. We're preparing the paperwork to take a plea at the court's pleasure.
All right. Well, I would be pleased now. So if you want to just let Norma know what the agreement is in the chat box, and we will get the paperwork done.
Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome.
And Les, I sent it over to Miss Norma already for you.
Oh, very good. Thank you. So I guess I go to my email address to sign it first and then send it off to Mr. Albert.
Alfonso Cabanas.
Good afternoon, Judge. I'm here.
All right. Do you need to speak with your client or do you need to speak with the state?
With the state, Your Honor, preferably with Marcus if he's available.
All right, Marcus, are you available to speak with Mr. Cabanas?
Yes, Judge.
All right, I'll see you to breakout room number 4.
Your Honor, is it possible I could talk to my lawyer?
When your attorney wants to speak with you, your attorney will let us know. And you cannot talk to anyone until you show your video. And Mr. McBride, the way you can ask and say you want to speak with your attorney and do that politely, you can also behave on the screen. I'm very well aware that people have certain issues going on in their life, and I accommodate those issues. But what I don't accommodate is child play, horseplay, and nonsense on the Zoom. Do you understand? So
Yes,
if I
Your
have
Honor.
that from you again, what's going to end up happening is you're going to be sent back And we will see you in probably 60 to 90 days. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, can you put Louis Martinez and the courtroom in a breakout room so they can go over paperwork, Judge, please?
All right, Luis Martinez, if you'll go to breakout room number 5, please. And to the courtroom, if you go to 5, please. Yes, Mr. Bass.
Yes, Judge. Are you calling me, Judge?
I'm sorry, just give me 1 second.
Alfonso, do you want me to put you in a room do you need to speak to your client? Gracias.
Sorry, yes, please, while we wait for Judge
Okay.
Boyd.
I'll send you both to a room. McBride, can you go to 6?
Alfonso, just make sure you don't leave him in there by himself. Just make sure you bring him back. Thank
Okay.
you. Sorry, you have to babysit.
All right, sorry about that. I am back. As soon as you all are ready, just let me know. And Norma, where is Barry Hitchens? Did you see if you can get him here, please?
I'll send you something in the chat, Jeff.
All right, thank you.
Norma, has the paperwork been sent to Mr. Albert?
I'm sorry, I was showing you. Let me check. Give me 1 second. All right, I just received the paperwork on Haley. And so I'm signing that. Judge, can you put Marco Bass and his client in a breakout room to go over paperwork? And Leslie, I'm looking for yours.
All right, Marco Bass. If you'll go to breakout room number 2, please. Because this client is into. And Luis Martinez, can I see you in breakout room number 4, please? Let me find where you are.
Marco, you're supposed to go to room 2 to go over the paperwork.
Okay.
Leslie, do you know who's doing the paperwork on your client?
Hunter,
Hunter? Thank you.
I'll be right back.
Okay, Haley, to the courtroom. I'm going to send you to a breakout room. And could the clerks go to breakout room number 5, please? To swear in Mr. Haley. And Alfonso, have you finished speaking with Mr. McBride?
I did, Your Honor. I finished speaking with my client and with Mr. Sanders.
Okay. So what are we going to be doing?
Judge, if we could recall this for next week, there's an issue that the state has to check with Tom regarding my client's new case. And that's the only issue we're waiting on, Judge.
All right, Norma, can you recall Mr. McBride for 2 weeks? Is that enough time for everyone?
Is that good, Marcus?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
I can do the 23rd, Judge.
All right, we'll see you back on August 23rd.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Marcus.
All right, and Norma, can you let them know that 14L can go back?
14L. Yes, ma'am.
And then Mr. Herbst, do we have your paperwork for your client?
I haven't seen it yet, Your Honor.
Okay.
Judge, I'm working on his paperwork. There are 235 pieces of media in each case, so it's just taking a moment.
Oh, no problem. Oh, and Norma, I didn't get a chat about Mr. Watson, the defendant who's on Zoom.
Give me 1 second.
All right, Norma, when did he want this recalled for?
He didn't tell me, Judge. He just.
All right, let's recall it for Friday, Norma. Is that possible or no?
That's fine, Judge.
All right, Mr. Watson, we're going to recall your case for Friday, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, Norma, you can let them know that L5 can go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Louis, I signed all the paperwork. I'm just waiting for it to be brought to me. I think they're swearing your client in.
Okay, well, swearing them in, swearing at them, whatever they need to do is fine.
Okay. Your client is signing his certificate of appeal. And then we will proceed.
And Judge, just a quick reminder that my client is asking for a couple weeks to come back for sentencing.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Who is that sitting at the back of the courtroom? Does anyone know?
That's Mr. Haley.
Oh, can you have him come up, please?
Right there, sir.
All right. Hi, Mr. Haley. Just give us a moment. We're going to take up your matter. And to the clerks, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2 to swear that person in.
He's been sworn in, Judge.
All right. The court is, no, I mean, it's another person. But, all right. Court is calling 2021 CR 5894, State of Texas versus Charles Edward Haley. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Luis Martinez on behalf of Mr. Haley.
All right, and are you Mr. Haley?
Yes.
We're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
No, Judge.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Court will note for the record that the defendant is in the courtroom, but Mr. Haley, I'm going to show you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client? I'm sorry,
Yes,
Mr.
yes,
Martinez, have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge, I've received it, I reviewed, and it's my opinion at this time that the state has met its requirements under 3914.
All right, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Haley, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you weigh the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Judge, we do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of possession of controlled substance, penalty group 1, in an amount less than 1 gram.
And Judge, that's without objection.
Right. Mr. Haley, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
All right. Did you understand the state is proceeding on possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes.
The court is noticing that the attorney for the defendant is listed as Robert Price. Is that correct? Is that not correct?
Judge, it should be Luis Martinez. Robert's my law partner. It may be that the system is set up with his name on there as well, and that does happen from time to time.
All right. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Judge, he and I have discussed this case and his possible defenses.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Judge, I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge, I do.
Mr. Haley, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review this page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense, possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. They're asking that you be punished under 1244 to 60 days in the Bexar County Jail. There are no applications for community supervision or deferred adjudication. And they're asked that you be sentenced through the program Bear Gives Back. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, it is.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm going to show you a paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge, there have not.
Then to the offense, possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
Any
Judge,
objection?
there's no objection to that, Judge.
Mr. Haley, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments. Court has reviewed State's Exhibits 1 and attachments. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. May I see the state and defense in a breakout room, please? Just give us a one moment, Mr. Haley. Mr. Martinez, if you'll go to breakout room number 1 and state if you could meet us in 1, please. All right, we're back on the record. Are you proceeding with sentencing? You're on mute, Mr. Martinez.
Judge, we would prefer to proceed to sentencing at this time.
All right, the court will sentence you to 60 days in the Bexar County Jail. Give you credit for any time served, and the court will show that the judgment is satisfied. Next.
Judge, if I could get into a breakout room with Mr. Haley and just explain what that means to him.
Okay, sure. And just 1 second. I don't have a trial court certification.
There should have been one in there, Judge. We received it from the court.
To the clerks, do you have the trial court certification on Mr. Haley yet, please? Mr. Haley, did you review the document entitled trial court certification with your attorney, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and Mr. Haley, you were very lucky today, right? So here, we can go off the record, Brenner. Here's the thing. Obviously, you have a drug problem or something's going on in your life. This is your chance to take care of your drug problem. I took mercy on you because I realized that you were born in 1949, that you're too old to be using drugs. Really, anybody's too old to be using drugs. So you're gonna have to change your ways. If you have a drug problem, which it appears that you do, there are plenty of places where you can go for help for that. You can go to NA meetings. NAA meetings are all around San Antonio at whatever time. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to find yourself back here. And when you find yourself back here, you may not have this defense attorney. You may not have this prosecutor. I may be retired living in Paris. Brenna will be retired then living out her best life. Although this is our best life, right? So you got to decide how you want to live your life. If you want to live your life looking over your shoulder, trying to get your next drug, you can live your life that way. But I will tell you, how old are you?
72.
All right, 72. It's time to stop this, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'm going to send you to a breakout room, but Louis, we can't let him leave until I get the trial court certification because the clerks haven't brought that back to me yet.
Okay, Judge, I'll let him know.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2 and courtroom. If you could go to breakout room number 2.
Oh, and Judge, I will, my father was born in 1949. I will not let him know the court's policy on those cases.
Thank you very much. Okay, we may have to come back tomorrow, everybody. Because we're closing at 5. I can't keep prosecutors here past 5 o'clock. They want to go home to their families.
Already are home.
But we will see what happens. So, Mr. Herbst, have you done all the paperwork for your client?
I've signed everything, Your Honor. Now it just has to go to him.
Well, who is your client?
Mr. Albert, Samuel Joseph Albert.
I don't see him on the screen. Is he in the courtroom?
I think he's in the breakout room.
All right, you want to go to number 3 and talk him through signing the paperwork?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Yes, Ed, you can just go back to that breakout room, Mr. Herbst.
Which bank breakout room is that, Your Honor?
You're in number 3.
Thank you.
Mhm. No, where's the trial court certification? Well, just go and if you could go to the courtroom.
I already did, Judge. I just called Lewis. Lewis just signed it. It's going to the defendant right now.
All right, thank you. Mr. Velez, have you been sworn in?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and the clerk, if you could go to breakout room number 4, please, and swear in Mr. Albert.
Norma, Lotta, can you check your email, please?
All right, the court is calling 2000, I'm sorry, Brenna. Court is calling 2021 CR 5875, State of Texas versus Jason Velez. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Marco Bass for the defense.
And are you Jason Velez?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video. Any objections?
No
Oh,
objection.
Your Honor.
Mr. Velez, I'm showing you what's entitled trial court. I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Defense, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Velez, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We waive it, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, the state will be waiving the enhancement paragraph.
Any objection?
No objections.
All right, Mr. Velez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
What you're charged with is theft under $2,500 enhanced. That's state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Judge, we discussed all the possible defenses.
You believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Very much so.
You believe he's currently competent, was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Velez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, state waived the enhancement paragraph. Punishment is to be assessed at 180 days in the Bexar County Jail. There's a $1,000 fine and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense is that the plea bargain agreement. Defense is that the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Judge.
State is that the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, this plea bargain agreement, it says punishment is to be 180 days at the Bexar County Jail. Is this going to be under 1244 now?
No, Your Honor, that was my mistake. If you can correct that to the state jail facility.
Excuse me, Your Honor, can I say something?
No, just one moment. Mr. Bass, according to the plea bargaining agreement, it's 180 days at the state jail facility. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Mr. Velez, do you understand that the plea bargaining agreement is 180 days in the state jail facility?
For my understanding, it was that 1244A.
No, it's not 1244.
But that's
They're
what
not
my
offering you
lawyer,
1244.
that's what my lawyer told me.
Judge, can I get in a breakout room with my client?
Yes,
But first, can I talk with the state? Sorry about that.
sure. I'll send you to breakout room number 1. Meredith, if you could go to number 1, please.
You go to break room.
Judge, this is Hunter.
Yes, hi.
The second plea packet for Samuel Albert is on its way to Mr. Ernst.
Okay,
And that should be the remainder of the paperwork.
all right, and I just received that. Is that the 2020 CR 10550?
That's the first one, Judge. 551 is on the way.
All right, to the clerks, you're gonna have to print that out. For some reason, it's coming to me before it goes to you to sign.
Okay, Judge. Mr. Albert, can you go back to the breakout room 4?
Robert, I'll just move you all to number 2 because he can't see that.
Okay. Oh,
Oh, he's there now.
okay.
I don't know if Norma or one of the clerks is available, but can we see how much time Mr. Jason Velez has in?
All
I'll
right.
check.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, can I see you in a breakout room?
Yes. Number 2.
Meredith, send it in the chat.
Thank you. Judge, we have a new agreement.
Okay.
So they, hold on, I don't know if they're still in there, but they need to come out. So we can get this done.
Okay. All right, what is the new agreement going to? Oh, excuse me. All right, what's the new agreement?
I'll allow the state, just to clarify, Judge.
Okay.
Your Honor, there was a miscommunication, but after further conferring, the agreement now, if you can amend the paperwork, please, thank you, is 180 days, Bear County Jail under the 1244.
Okay. All right, we can go back on the record.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Meredith.
So according to the plea bargain agreement, the state is waiving the enhancement paragraph. They're asking that you be sentenced to 180 days in the Bear County Jail under 12.44 of the Penal Code, and there's a $1,000 fine, and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement, Mr. Velez? You're muted.
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Defense, is that the agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court.
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
Any objections?
No objection, Judge.
Mr. Velez, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, sir.
All right, the court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 180 days in the Bear County Jail under 12.44. There's a $1,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent. The court will give you credit for any time that has been served. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Velez, you need to stop stealing.
Man,
People don't
Your
like
Honor,
people. Here's the thing. People do not like people to take things that they did not pay for.
if
If
you,
you didn't pay for it, it's not yours. Don't take it. And you're here on a theft enhanced because this is not your first step. Okay?
yeah, but that's my pride just brought me here. But if you see the video,
Here's the
that's not
thing.
how it
Here's the
happened.
thing. Nope, I don't want to hear it. Here's the thing. Don't steal. Go through life. Don't steal. We won't be here. Okay?
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Good luck to you. Norma, can you let them know Velez can go back L16?
And I'm excused, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we anywhere close to finishing this plea? Because otherwise, we're going to come back tomorrow.
Let me check on that, Judge.
All right, thank you. Yeah, we're going to come back tomorrow on this.
There were a few items of evidence to sift through, Judge, so I apologize for the length of time it took to get that ready.
Oh, no, there is no need to apologize. I mean, we are moving, as quickly as possible, but also still doing justice. And sometimes justice occurs a day later. Yeah. So it's 5:04 p.m. You guys are not charged to work after 5 p.m. And I don't know what the agreement is. I don't know if this is going to be for time or if it's going to be for probation.
It is for state jail time.
All right. So, yeah, we may have to come back and do this tomorrow because what I'm hearing, they're nowhere finished with that. Am I correct on that, Ms. Ferguson?
That's according to Lupe. He hasn't received the other paperwork on the other case.
All right, yeah. We're going to come back tomorrow for that. And I'll stay here and make sure that all that paperwork is done so that we will take it up first thing in the morning. And Mr. Herbst will be here first thing in the morning and we will take it up at that time.
Oh, you know what I did, Judge? I forgot to put his SID on the plea paperwork. So they may be having trouble finding that over there.
Sure, no problem. All right, so we're going to stop live